Okay, so I want to say one final thing about session codes, and then I'm going to wrap this up. All right, so let's look back at our African forest elephants NPP, Nearpod lesson NPL. They used to be called NPPs. You have the choice between live session and student paced, and we're going to talk about that later, but I'm sure you've already figured out that in a live session, you're there leading the lesson, and in a student paced session, you might not be there. Okay, so if we look at live session, this is one last thing I want to tell you about this. Okay, so if you've already got some active codes for this particular lesson that are still active, live sessions can stay active for 14 days. If you've already got some generated, those are going to show up. This might happen if you're a middle school or a high school teacher. Perhaps you have like first period, you were in this session, and second period, you were in this session, and third period, you were in this session. And you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to generate a new session for each class so that the data stays separate. You can generate as many sessions as you want. You can generate sessions until the cows come home. The one thing I wish Nearpod would let us do with our session codes is I wish they would let us name them. Like, this is first period, this is second period. But I just typically look at the time that I generated the code, and then I can usually figure out what class it corresponds to if I have to get back into it. So that's live sessions. Oops, don't want to do live. Let's say student paced. I want to generate a student paced code. Maybe you did a live session with your students and they have some homework to do, but they need to access that information that's in the Nearpod. Generate a student paced code for them, and then they can access it at home and go through it at their own pace. Or maybe a student was absent and they say to you, "What did we do yesterday?" And you can say, "Here's your code." Student paced codes are different because look at this, 156 days remaining, 29 days remaining. You can set how long those student paced codes are active between the numbers 1 and 365. So you can actually go into a student paced code and change how long it remains active. So if a student is absent, you can give them a month to go through that stuff and then just apply it. So I think that's all I wanted to say about session codes. So hopefully all of that is making sense to you.